Welcome to another TechHelp video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I am your instructor, Richard Rost. This is part 8 of my fitness database series. If you haven't watched parts 1 through 7 yet, go watch those first. As a reminder, I'm building a fitness database for me because it's something I'm going to personally use, but if you don't care about fitness at all, that's fine. The real value here is in the techniques that I'm going to show you. Everything from building tables and forms and queries to all the VBA applies to any Access database, whether you're managing customers, inventory, orders, Pokemon cards, whatever you're tracking, it doesn't matter. All these techniques are for every database that you want to build. So fitness is just the example. All right, let's get into it. The next thing I want to put in here is if you make a change over here, like if you change this to 96, okay, and if you move to a different record, that should update over here. See that? All right. But sometimes users can get confused if they don't see it update right away. Now, you could put after update events in all of these fields, but I think that gets a little disruptive. So what I just want to do is just put a little save button down here. And that's just mostly for people that don't know how to use Access databases right? We know that this record's dirty and it will get updated as soon as you close the form or leave the record or whatever. Okay? But well, in that case, actually, it doesn't when you close the form. Let's see. 96. Close it. Okay, it did update that time. But I think just putting a little save button down on the bottom saves a lot of heartache and a lot of headache and a lot of ache. Just ache in general. So I'm going to put a save button over here. And again, this is mostly just for people to give them peace of mind, right? So let's open up that button. Let's call this the save button. And under events, the on-click event is going to be literally just Me.Dirty equals false. I've been using Me.Refresh for years and years and years. I think I mentioned this before. Me.Dirty equals false is faster. It just commits the record to the table. It doesn't reload anything. It doesn't recalculate anything. It just saves the record. All right, so save that. Debug, compile, of course. I got a whole video coming out on Me.Dirty equals false versus Me.Refresh. So now if you come over here, you change this back to 95, you hit your save button, that's it, it's saved, and it updates over here. Now, like I said before, I got a whole bunch of data that I've been keeping in Excel, my meal plans and my calorie charts and all that stuff. And I got data like on all the different bars that I've been trying. And my favorite, of course, so far is the barbells. But I got a lot of these, and some of them I got noted on here, don't buy again. I want to keep their information because, you know, I want to know in the future that, hey, don't buy this one again in case I see it like advertised or something. But I have a box of them, so I'm going to eat them all eventually. Either they're going to expire or I'm going to eat them, one or the other. But I want to get this data right here into my database. We're going to calculate this too. I like to calculate the protein-to-calorie ratio. So the higher that is, the more protein is in it for the calories that you're eating. And as you can see, barbells is pretty good too. That's pretty high on the list. And these other ones, David bars aren't bad. Quest bars just taste like chalk. I'm sorry, I just don't like them. And the Quest bars, you can find them everywhere, though. You can find these in like a 7-Eleven or a gas station if you're on the road and you need something quick. They're not bad. They're just not my favorite. But anyways, so what I want to do is I'm going to get all of this into the database without having to copy and paste, or without having to type it all over again. So we're going to copy and paste it. Now, the key is either line your table fields up like this so that they're in this exact order, or make a query so the fields are in this order, either one, and then we can copy and paste this stuff just like I showed you before. All right, so I'm just let's just create a query. We'll do this nice and easy, query design. And, oh, we also need to get the category. We haven't made a form for this yet, but this FoodGroupT, my category 13 is protein bars. All right, so we'll fix that too. And that's easy. You just come over here in Excel and put a 13 over here. We'll make this the first column, right? Just autofill that down. And I can copy that in there as well. All right, so bring in your FoodT and then just match up the columns that you have in your Excel spreadsheet. So the food group ID, then we've got the description, then the calories. What's next? I got protein next, then carbs, then sugar. I go total sugar, and then notes. Even though added sugar is usually more important because not all sugars are created equal. Okay. Now, no need to save this. Just go into Data Sheet View because we're not going to save this guy. All right. Now I'm going to go back over here to Excel, and I'm going to select all the fields that I want to put into my database. Copy that, and come back over here, and we're going to do that trick I showed you before. Just select the same fields that we had selected in Excel, just out to there, and then hit paste. Boom. See? As long as this matches up field for field with what's in your Excel spreadsheet, it comes over just like a tab delimited file did before. And now we don't have to save this. Let's plan on doing more with it. I'm not going to save it. And now if I refresh this, we should put a requery on this. Here, I'll hit F5. There we go. Put requery button down here. Right? See, it's these little things that you start discovering that you need once you start actually using it. Requery. You can call it requery. You can call it refresh. As far as newbies go, I'm kind of torn. I like to use the word requery because it's an actually requery, which in Access is different from refresh, but sometimes people don't get that, but that's okay. Requery button. That's a teaching moment there. Right click, build event, and this will simply be me.requery. Save it, close it, open it, and that should still work. Okay. All right, let's do that little calculation next. In our food with group query, I'm going to design this guy, and I'm going to make a new column over here, a new field, a new calculated query field. We're going to call this protein percent, and that's going to be protein divided by calories. And I can tell you right now, we're going to need to fix this with an if function, because if calories is 0, we're going to get a divide by 0 error. So we're going to say if calories equals 0, then put a 0 here. Otherwise, put that calculation. And if you're not familiar with the if function, go watch this guy. All right, hit OK. And if you take a peek at it, you can see there it is. You can format it here in the query, but we're also going to have to format it in the form too. So you can go design view. You can bring up this guy's properties. Right click, go to properties. Set the format to percent, and for decimal, I'm just going to go 0. I don't care if it's 1.3%. Save it, close it, you can run it, and there we go. That looks good. So 19% of a chicken breast is protein. That's fantastic. All right. Close that, and then we'll add it in here. Close this guy, right-click, design view. And now that it's in the underlying query, it should show up in here. So I'm just going to copy and paste this guy. Copy, paste. Slide this up here. Double click. This is going to be protein percent now. Copy, paste. While we're at it, format percent and then 0 decimal places. And notice our show food F copied over. That's one of the benefits of it being an on-click event like that, being an event procedure, is because you don't have to keep adding new code to each one of these fields. And members, we're just going to copy this label, copy, paste, and now with our new code that we wrote last time, all we have to do is change the on-click here to protein percent, and then give it a proper name, which is going to be protein percent label. Save it. Oh, we gotta fix this. Save that. Close it. Close it. Open it. And you gotta change what the label says in it though, but you can see it's working. There we go. And now we gotta slide this over a little bit and save it there. There we go. And we can sort by that. That's pretty cool. Let's change that label. Let's make it prot percent, like that. That should, yeah, that looks good. I use that a lot. You know, how much protein percentage. So if I can come over here now, I could say, show me all the protein. Well, I only got one protein. We got to add the rest of my stuff in here. Show me all the, what do we got? Fruits? Okay, who's got what fruit has the best protein percentage? Okay, it's the tangerine. I don't have a lot of stuff in here yet. Another thing I discovered when I started actually working with this, go to add new. If I put in here like ham, right? And then I just save it and close it. And even if I requery it, it's not showing up. And if I get rid of this, here, let's clear that. You don't see ham on here anywhere. Anybody know why that is? Well, that's because our query is an inner join. And that means you have to have a matching record over here for every matching record over here. If you put a food item in that doesn't have a food group, you won't see it in the list. So to fix that, we're going to make this an outer join. I want to show all records from FoodT and the matching records from FoodGroupT. So if you have a food item that's not in a group, you'll still see it. You get the little arrow there. That's called an outer join. Go watch this video if you want to learn more about those. And now save it, close it, open it. Let me shrink that guy up. And you can see right here, I got 2 items now, in fact, that don't have it. So fish, canned salmon, chicken of the sea, that should be protein. And this guy, well, it's just ham. Let's delete it. Now, I'm of the mindset that I don't usually like users to be able to just delete stuff without using my buttons. So in the next video, we're going to make a button for that. But for now, let's just hit delete. And you can see how messy it is now. It's all gone over here. Our button will ask them if they're sure. We'll delete it, and then we'll requery this list so that it goes away. All right, we'll start with that in the next video. All right, folks, that's going to do it for part 8. That's your TechHelp video for today. Hope you learned something. Live long and prosper, my friends. I will see you on Monday for part 9. Tomorrow is Quick Queries Friday. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button right now and give me a like. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel, which is completely free. And make sure you click that bell icon and select all to receive notifications whenever I post a new video. Do you need help with your Microsoft Access project? Whether you need a tutor, a consultant, or a developer to build something for you, check out my Access Developer Network. It's a directory I put together personally of Access experts who can help with your project. Visit my website to learn more. Any links or other resources that I mentioned in the video can be found in the description text below the video. Just click on that Show More link right there. YouTube's pretty good about hiding that, but it's there. Just look for it. Now, if you have not yet tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of Microsoft Access, including building forms, queries, reports, tables, all that stuff. It's over 4 hours long. You can find it on my website or my YouTube channel. I'll include a link below you can click on. And did I mention it's completely free? And if you like Level 1, Level 2 is just $1. That's it. And it's free for members of my YouTube channel at any level. Speaking of memberships, if you're interested in joining my channel, you get all kinds of awesome perks. Silver members get access to all of my extended cut TechHelp videos, and there's hundreds of them by now. They also get 1 free beginner class each month, and yes, those are from my full courses. Gold members get the previous perks plus access to download all of the sample databases that I build in my TechHelp videos. Plus, you get access to my code vault where I keep tons of different functions and all kinds of source code that I use. And gold members get 1 free expert class every month after completing the beginner series. Platinum members get all of the previous perks, plus they get all of my beginner courses, all of them from every subject. And you get 1 free advanced or developer class every month after finishing the expert series. And you can become a diamond sponsor and have your name listed on the sponsor page on my website. So that's it. Once again, my name is Richard Rost. Thank you for watching this video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something today. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you next time.